two videos. One on this nice boring bit, and then I'll do one later on when we get to the fast twisty bit. This is the S1000R Sport with the active suspension, extra riding modes, and also the cruise control. It's about 163 brake, about 30 less than the RR which I've owned previously, but it's lively, power comes in nice and early, and it's very, very fun to ride. It's like, at the moment I'm riding in with soft DDC and dynamic engine mode, which might seem like a weird combination, but the ride's really hard anyway, and if you're just bumbling along enjoying it, then you really want soft engaged. But dynamic gives you a better fuel throttle response, and the ABS and wheelie control are sort of backed off enough so you can pick the front up and have a bit of fun with it, but at the same time leaving you plenty of safety equipment engaged. So I've had it for about a month and a half now. I've done, let's have a look, still get used to the flipping buttons. 1500 miles, did about 250 yesterday, and to be honest it was brilliant. I did both A's and B's and a bit of motorway. The only downside you'd say is sort of anything above 80 for a long duration, it becomes quite tiresome. You know, your arms start to ache, your neck starts to ache a bit, but it's a naked bike, so it will do. And also I've got the small screen fitted at the moment. I just thought I'd see what it was like in the long run. The other down point is about between 80 and 90. There's quite a lot of vibration through the bars. It's quite buzzy, so you tend to get a bit of white finger. Drop below 80 and it's lovely and smooth. In fact, get above 90 and it smooths out again, but then you get obviously the wind. But apart from that, on the twisted it was fabulous. As far as power is concerned, never lacked it, even after owning sports bikes. And it was just a great bike to ride yesterday, and to be honest, when I got home I wasn't, you know, creaking and stretching my legs and all the rest of it. I've got adjustable rear sets on, but at the moment they're in the same position as BMW's original set. I intend to move them for when I'm touring, but for the overall riding position it's fine. You know, I mean, the knees aren't that sort of bent up. It's not bad. I mean, I'm 5'11", and it's quite a reach to the bars, but because the seat's so large, you can move forward, backwards, you get yourself comfortable, decide to sort of hunch down into the riding position, or just allow the wind to push your the top half of your body up. But as a rule, it's pretty comfy. I haven't had any major problems at all. I am used to a sports bike position, so it's taken me a while to get used to the sit up and beg, but you know, when it comes to the really sort of tight twisty stuff, you actually get slightly more confidence. You can throw it in and really sort of tip it over. Brakes are phenomenal. They've actually got better since I've owned the bike. They start off really keen. I mean, literally one finger and it's hauling it up from nothing, and it's a bit too keen. You don't have that feeling of control. You know, and now they've worn in, it's about right. You can pull it up as quick as you want to, but you can also sort of modulate it a bit. Back brake's really good as well, which is unusual for a sports bike, I think. A lot of the back brakes, especially on Aprilias, are shit. What else can I say really? And rain mode was rain, road, dynamic and dynamic pro. Rain's horrible in my opinion. You've just got no throttle control whatsoever. You wind it on and 3 to 4 seconds later the bike does something about it. It just feels so detached, so I don't bother. Road's probably the one I'd select in the rain. You've still got a reasonable fuel map, but it's controllable and you get full ABS and full traction. I think I'll go left here and start to enjoy myself a bit. Quick shifter. Better to call it gear shift, gear assist really. It's don't get me wrong, it works, and once you get above sort of 4,000, 5,000 RPM, it's really smooth, and you can just keep it pinned and just bang up through the gears. At lower revs and at lower speeds, first and second, you want to be just backing off the throttle just a tad before you snick up like you would in, you know, if you were clutchless shifting a normal bike. But it's certainly better than not having one at all. You know, it's not bad at all. So I mean, if I nail it here and just use a quick shifter, and see it's reasonably smooth. You know, there's no problems at all. And then we've got some horses up here, I think. Oh no, push bikes. It's alright. That's it. Hopefully we'll get onto some decent roads soon. Let's nip past this guy here. I've dropped the tyre pressures from the original settings because it's too hard on the road otherwise. It's very, I don't know, it just seems to benefit from dropping them a bit. It certainly give you a bit more stability and a bit more grip, a bit more feel, and you can sort of tip it in nice, you know, it's pretty good. And there's quite a lot of engine braking, surprisingly. There's a horrible corner, this not fucking bump right in the middle of it's horrible. And yeah, I don't know whether it's the ECU that helps you out or what, I'm not really sure, but it does seem to have quite a lot of engine braking. A friend of mine said it was like following somebody on a twin. It never braked. But you can open it up and see the bars wag a bit, you know. But it's, a few people have sort of been a bit upset about that, the bars wagging when you give it a hard throttle. But it's a naked bike after all, and to be honest, the damper keeps it under control. It's nothing of any, it doesn't really scare you as such, you just have to be ready for it. Just think, I'll go this way I think, this is quite some good roads up here. I promised my wife I'm not going to hurt myself before I go on holiday, so I won't be going crazy. What else can I say about it? Yeah, the handling. Some people have sort of fucking horrible. Jesus. Yeah, some people have said that it's too stiff for them. You know, if you're quite lightweight, I'm about, I don't know, sort of 13 and a half, maybe 14 stone, fully loaded. And although it's firm, it feels sort of correctly sprung for me, really. But to be honest, when I start, you know, I'll go back to normal now. I'm sort of throwing it about a bit because it just gives that feedback that you require. Soft damps it out a bit too much. You see the traction kicked in then. It's really weird. I can't really get totally. I can't really understand the traction control. Yeah, it cuts in as traction. I don't think it cuts in as wheelie control. So if you've got a nice controlled front wheel rise, it lets it stay there, lets it hang nice. I'll pull one later on and show you, but sometimes if you're under axial acceleration, it's spinning up anyway, so it feels like there's wheelie control, but actually it's nothing to do with it. It's just the wheel spinning, so traction kicks in. I mean, I went Dynamic Pro for a lot of the time, but actually Dynamic's not a bad setting. I'll probably go back to Dynamic Control later on in the video just to show you. But it's a lovely bike to ride. I really am enjoying it. And once I've sort of been on track and at Cadwell and learned its real, you know, it's the possibilities you can, the limits you can push with it, and it'll be a ridiculously fast road tool. If there's anyone else out there with GoPros, that you take a really good video and you realise you can't really show it to anyone but your friends because it's bloody illegal. It's not really the right thing to be putting on YouTube. I'll see if I can show you on this. It's hard to really tell there, I fucked it up anyway. And I keep swearing. God! I just realised again I've been effing and blinding. Try not to, because the last video was so many F words, it was like listening to a flipping woman Tourette's. That's bumpy as that, wow. So I'll try and use rubbish or something along those lines. I haven't actually met anyone else out on one of these yet. It'd be nice to chat to them and see what they think. I've chatted to people on the forum, and you know, a lot of people have similar opinions to me. Some don't. Some think the DDC is a load of rubbish. But I disagree. I think it's great. It gives you a sort of mix and match, especially more of a sports bike ride than a magic carpet ride. But I really like it. I think it's a great tool. Ooh, I thought that was gravel then. Shit himself. I'll tend to talk less when I'm winding it on a bit. It needs a bit of concentration. These roads, a lot of really good fun. You just never know what you're going to get hit around the next corner. It's just tractors and sugar beet trucks and horses, and every now and again you sort of say, I'm going to go for it, like, but the amount of scares you have is just crazy, really. You think, do I really need to die today? And obviously the answer is no, I don't. So you sort of, and I haven't got leather, I've just got my Kevlar jeans on today, so don't really want to be knee down in. You can see the pickups as quick as pretty much anything else on the road. Up to a ton, it's as quick as my RR was, definitely. It's just when you get above the ton, there's no way it won't stay with the RR. I mean, you go from like 1 to 160 in blink of an eye on that. Still be interesting on this bit. Just to let the chassis settle a bit. Well, actually, it's quite a nice day today, can't fault it. I'll say, I'll try and keep it reasonably sensible. I don't want to be number one, I don't want to be getting nicked. Number two, I don't want to come off and look like a complete dick on camera. Not that I'm planning to. What's this guy doing? This is a funny old bit of set of corners. There's a farm there and you end up with crap and mud over each bend. like about it's a lovely airbox growl. It's very similar to a Gixxer Thou. You get like you wind it on, it's the growl, and then it shoots off. In fact, it's very similar performance to my old Gixxer Thou. That was about 170 the back wheel. This has got a lot more grunt, I think, low down, but top end performance probably very similar. And it was a really nice bike to own and ride, so I'd go with that every day. I'm going to interrupt the video, stop it and then start again, because I still haven't figured out. If I do a one video, I'll try and split it, and it ends up still trying to process the one straight video. It takes forever, so I'm just going to pull it over and stop it and then start it again. It might work.